Episode 6, Ghostbusters. For this episode, the main character Reigns, get it, Reigns, are handed back to Twilight. The episode starts with her practicing her magic with Spike and allowing him to grow a mustache, which is the 25th trick she's been able to perform. I'm Count Lurchalot, and this is Lukewarm Television. Spike's enjoying the mustache, but as it's for practice, Twilight has to remove it, much to Spike's disappointment. The next scene shows Spike and Twilight walking through Ponyville while discussing her magical abilities. Here it's revealed that most unicorns focus their magic on a specific area that matches their personality and special talent, but since Twilight's special talent is magic, she knows far more than the average unicorn. Spike even thinks Twilight is the most powerful unicorn in Equestria, something that'll be put into question when we reach Season 5. They run into two young unicorn cults called Snips and Snails, yes, the joke is very obvious, who are going to see a unicorn who has just arrived, and they claim to know more magic than anyone. Intrigued, they head to the town square to meet her. Here we are introduced to Trixie, a traveling show pony who specializes in being a magician. This is a character who made numerous appearances throughout the show and has some pretty amazing character development near the end. That being said, this would be her only appearance for a while. Trixie claims they are about to bear witness to the greatest magic any of them have ever seen. This doesn't impress the main characters, another pun I love using, who see Trixie as nothing but a show-off. This worries Twilight a little as she feels she'll become ostracized if she shows off too much of her magic. However, this leads Trixie to feeling they are questioning her abilities, and she reinforces she's the most magical unicorn in Equestria. Spike tries to stand up for Twilight, but she asks him to be quiet given the negative reaction the other characters have to Trixie's showboating. Trixie claims what makes her great is that she's the only unicorn in Equestria that can defeat something known as an Ursa Major, a bear-like creature that I can only assume is made of star energy. Trixie then tells a tale of how she challenged an Ursa Major and banished it to its cave in the Everfree Forest. The main characters don't believe this tale, so Trixie challenges them by claiming that anything they can do, she can do better. Sorry, I just had to sing a bit of the song there. Spike begs Twilight to put Trixie in her place, but she refuses. Trixie decides to move first and challenges Applejack. Applejack accepts and wows the crowd with what I will admit are some pretty amazing lasso tricks. Trixie retaliates by publicly humiliating Applejack. Rainbow Dash decides to challenge her next, who claims being a show-off is her job. I won't lie, this gave me a good chuckle. Rainbow Dash once again proves she is an amazing flyer by performing a trick that forms a rainbow above her head. Trixie then uses Rainbow Dash's own trick against her and puts her in such a spin that even Rainbow Dash feels sick at the end. She further humiliates Rainbow Dash by showing that she too can control weather. Spike continues to encourage Twilight to challenge Trixie, but she's still unsure. Surprisingly though, Rarity is the next to challenge Trixie, but unlike Applejack and Rainbow Dash, Rarity wants to do this with grace. I feel this bit links back well to what Twilight said before, that most unicorns focus their magic on a specific area, and here we get to see how Rarity has mastered using magic for the art of fashion. However, Trixie does the meanest thing possible. She alters Rarity's mane. The rest of the main characters lie and say it looks fine. Even Applejack, the representation of honesty, says her hair is gorgeous. Unfortunately, Spike lets it slip that her hair is green. Rarity's upset over having green hair, saying it's the worst color, but I think we can all agree that's the least of her problems. I also agree with this random background pony who is offended by Rarity's remarks, because I love the color green. Spike continues to encourage Twilight to challenge Trixie, but fearing she'll be ostracized for being a show-off, Twilight refuses. Later on, Trixie is celebrating her victory, and Snips and Snails have become obsessive fans who do anything she asks. Unsurprisingly, she's very rude even when they do something nice. Unfortunately, these two are too stupid to care. Spike confronts them and says unless he actually sees Trixie beat an Ursa Major, he won't believe it. Because of this, they decide to do something really stupid. They decide to actually go find an Ursa Major. They head into a cave but struggle to see because it's so dark. In response, Snails uses his magic to create light, which reveals they were already in front of an Ursa. And being complete idiots, of course, they lead the Ursa back to Ponyville. Snips and Snails immediately go to get Trixie, while Spike does the smart thing and goes to get Twilight. We can immediately see that Trixie is a fraud because upon seeing the Ursa, she screams and runs away. Spike rushes to Twilight and convinces her to help with the Ursa. Trixie, Snips and Snails are cornered by the Ursa, and Trixie attempts to defeat the beast, only to fail miserably. She tries again, but the Ursa isn't even phased. After the Ursa wakes all of Ponyville and causes a panic, Trixie finally admits she can't beat an Ursa Major, and she never has. Her story was made up to make her look better. Hearing this, Twilight takes it upon herself to defeat the Ursa, which involves the following. She uses the wind to create music to calm it down. She then empties an entire water tank. At first I was worried about if Ponyville would need that, but then it occurred to me that a Pegasus could easily refill it. She then takes the tank to a barn and fills it up with milk from the local cows, which confuses me because cows are shown to be sentient and yet they are treated more like regular cows. Raises some questions I'm not sure I want answered. She gives the milk to the Ursa and finishes by sending the Ursa back to the cave. Everyone celebrates Twilight's victory, at which point Twilight begs them to not hate her. This confuses them, and Twilight explains that she believed if she showed off like Trixie, they would hate her. They point out that magic is part of who Twilight is, and they like Twilight. They don't like Trixie because she's a loudmouth. Furthermore, they're proud of Twilight for using her magic to help them when they needed it. Spike queries on how Twilight knew how to defeat an Ursa Major, at which point Twilight reveals that wasn't an Ursa Major, as it was only a baby, making it an Ursa Minor. She also reveals it wasn't rampaging, it was just cranky because 2 idiot colts woke it up. This makes them fearful of what an Ursa Major is. Despite being humiliated, Trixie still decides to gloat, and then makes a very pathetic escape attempt. They let her go, hoping one day she'll learn her lesson. Snips and Snails, however, face the punishment of having to clean up the mess they caused, and are also given mustaches, which they don't actually mind, and I have to agree that's not much of a punishment. I remember in high school, all the boys couldn't wait till they grew a mustache. The lesson Twilight takes from this is that having special talents is a part of you, and it's okay to show them off, which I have to agree with. She even admits that she may be the most powerful unicorn in Ponyville, but it's nothing to brag about. It's getting hard for me to give my own takeaway from the episodes, because Twilight sums them up perfectly in her letters to Princess Celestia. I do like the one here though, in that it's okay to have talents, but only show them off when appropriate. Until next time, thanks for watching, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you at the next review.